Hey everyone, Sweet Johnny Cage here. Welcome back to part 10 of the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree full playthrough walkthrough. In this section of the walkthrough, we are going to explore the base level of the northwestern section of the map up here. We'll get the map fragment in our adventure. In order to access this area, you need to get to Shadow Altus via Castle Ensis or via the Fort of Reprimand. And then there is a cave right here, and I'll place a marker on the map. There's a cave right there that leads here, and then a tunnel that leads over here, and then you have access to everything. Okay, so in the previous section of the walkthrough, we did the, I guess we'll call it the south section of Shadow Altus. So we did the Ruined Forge of Starfall Past. We challenged and defeated Dryleaf Dane. We got our 20th Scadutree fragment, as well as another 2 Revered Spirit Ash. So, yeah, we could just sort of get started here. So, let's go to our marker on the map. And then we will begin our way into an area called Rauh Base. And if you're like me and you are familiar with Hokuto no Ken, Fist of the North Star, in your mind, you always hear it, Rauh. Especially if you played the PS2 fighting game. Anyway, heading over here to this lake with the blue dudes, we are going to head toward here. Alright, so again, I'll show you on the map. This is right here on this lower lake. This is where we fought Larval the Great Red Bear. So now we have this lower lake, and we're going to go into a tunnel. And that is Scadutree Fragment number 21 of 50. And then we also have a level 3 Shadow Realm rune. Why is this thing lighting on fire? It's interesting. Is Rivers of Blood a fire weapon? I'm so confused. Why does this light on fire like this? Okay, well, I'll take it. Oh, maybe it's Blood Flame. Is this technically Blood Flame? Yeah, it does some fire damage. Okay, I don't think I ever realized that. Anyway, let's go ahead and cleanse our poison. And then further in this cave, we are going to come across a couple of perfumers. So I want to be mindful when coming in here. There's one patrolling around in the back. Hopefully we can backstab this one. Nice. Okay. Perfumers really don't stand much of a chance against any sort of weapon. Their whole vibe is just keeping you away. Alright, so we get the Heal from Afar Incantation, an Erdtree incantation discovered in the Realm of Shadow. Fires a projectile toward distant allies that greatly restores HP on contact. Even when far beyond, far out of sight, the Erdtree will surely give us its blessing. I do like that in the DLC, a lot of the incantations that you find are really good for co-op. I think that's going to make for really interesting co-op runs, especially now that the seamless co-op mod has been fixed. All right. So, through here, we have this big poison swamp. There's quite a lot of Gravebirds, so just be ready for that. There's also a Forager brood here nearby. And he's right along the ridgeline. Right over here. Speak with him, and we get Forager Brewed Cookbook 5, which teaches us how to craft opaline pickled liver. So that is, I believe, the last one we can get without just breaking Miquella's Great Rune. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so number 6 is located right here, which you can only get to through Bonnie Village, and when you reach this area right here, that is where Miquella's Great Rune can break. All right. Cool. Moving on. So we have these poison swamps here. Like I said, lots of Gravebirds. I am just going to do my best to kill them. This way they don't bother us too much. Okay. There's just so many of these things here. Okay, one more over here. I bonked on the statue. Great. And we get the Gravebird Anklets there as well. Stone anklets with a tinge of green, one of a set of armor pieces cast in the image of the Gravebird. Gravebards are ancient golems created to guard the spirit graves built where all manner of death ultimately drifts. Wow. I did 666 damage. That's fun. Wow, that was a lot of poison damage. Jeez. Just did it again. Okay. Okay. Moving on. We're going to head to a lower level of this poison swamp. But the poison fun is just beginning. Again, more Gravebirds. Oh my goodness, I missed all those hits. Oh, I'm getting knocked off. Oh my god. Oh my god. As soon as I started mashing R1, I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. Felt it in my bones. It's all good. Unfortunately, we did not run into a Stake of Marika, so we do have to manually trek back there, but it's not a big deal. Just takes a second. I do love how heavily patrolled these woods are by these Black Knights. It feels realistic. Okay. I'm just trying to keep track of the amount of Revered Spirit Ash that I have as well. Wow. What is with the level of that one? That's just ignoring everything. Mm-hmm. All right, great. Cool. Level 3 smithing stone. Get our runes back. And we press on. All right, let's go through this tunnel, and then we're going to come out to a site of grace. Right here. Welcome to Rauh Base. Now, Rauh Base has a bunch going on. And even though we just did a forge, there is another forge here as well. Just to be safe, I know that I've tested this, but just to be safe, I'm going to back up my save. The whole Miquella's Great Rune thing, really, it scares me. It seriously, seriously scares me. Okay. Okay, back in. Sorry about that. It really just freaks me out because I've tested where the line is, but I don't want to just all of a sudden come up to a place where I didn't know the line existed, you know? What? It's unbelievable. Groovy. All right, there's a forge back here. Along with this, try to push this up the hill. This way it kind of gets stopped on the rocks. We're at the Misbegotten nearby, because they're going to try to stop you as well. Great. Wow, this camera is not helping. So pay close attention to the sound of that crystal golem over there. That is a, not crystal golem, a crystal scarab. That is a separate crystal scarab. And it's up on that pillar right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw out this Misbegotten here. This way we don't run into trouble getting that crystal scarab off of the wall. Good. Oh, hello. Okay. Great. Get the Scattershot throw. Ash of War, again, more throwing. And we're right near Forge. All right. And there's going to be another Crystal Scarab nearby. So this guy drops down. Okay. This one, I think it's just like on the ground. Nope, it's up there. Sometimes it falls onto the ground. There we go. Okie doke. Cool beans. Okay, let's go into the forge now. And if you don't kill those crystal scarabs, you're going to hear them from within the forge. So if you are hearing them, just leave and get them. Because otherwise it's going to drive you nuts and you're going to think that they're in here, but they're not. Okay. Cool. Welcome to Taylew's Ruined Forge. So get your strike weapon out. Actually... craft some more arrows. I may actually visit the Bell Bearing Maiden Husks and purchase some flight pinions. Alright. Whoa. I didn't see you on the ceiling. Where did you just come from? That was weird. Okay. Let's make sure you have crystal darts. Craft another 10. All right. Recommend jumping over. Now there are materials down here, but we're not going to get them just yet. Instead, we're going to come this way. Say hello to our friend. Alright. So this guy, you'll notice, does not have a weapon. Instead, he has fists. And if you look closely, those fists look different than the rest of his body. That's because he can actually shoot those fists outward. And you don't want to get hit by them. Come on. Very good. Cool. You get the Smithscript axe. Axe engraved with the Smithscript, a throwing weapon created through the smithing arts. Execute a strong attack or jumping attack to throw the axe. So again, everything in a forge and around a forge typically lends to throwing. So there's a bit of a theme going on. Okay. Once we're down here, we're going to jump onto this cylinder here. Jump across. Yep. Pick up the Smithscript Greathammer. Greathammer engraved with the Smithscript, a throwing weapon created through the smithing arts. Execute a strong attack or dashing strong attack to spin and fling the Greathammer. So sort of like the Olympic hammer. The you can get one of your very own. I think it's pretty cool. All right. Jump back onto the cylinder here. And then there's nothing down there. So we're going to go up. Now, you're going to notice that this isn't going to go all the way up. Kind of have two choices here. I just want to make sure we make the right choice. All right. Let's go this way first. It's possible I'm making the wrong choice, but we'll see. All right. So we got two golems. Take out your crystal darts. Come over here. Ow. Hit each other, dude. What are you doing? He just reloaded his arms. That was pretty sick. All right, I'm going to go in for the critical just to make this go by a little bit faster. Whenever you see the bubbles go away, that means the mind control's over. All right. Come on. Cool. All right, don't forget about this item over here. Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. Yeah, okay, we made the right choice. Come over here, pop over here. Oh, we actually have more over there. Okay, there's a lot of teardrops here, so... Now we're going to go to the other side. quite a lot down here. So don't forget to loot this area. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do that in a bit. So you can see this guy over there petting his pet of a teardrop thing. Ow. Oh my lord. Ow. Oh, he doubled me. Oh my god, dude. So, I'm really just trying to have everybody deal with something. I don't think the golem's dead. No, he's still there. Briar armor. We love it. We're a Briar armor household. I realize I'm leaving this item. I want to... Every time. This is why there's no boss in this place. Okay. More upgrade materials. And a Smithscript shield. Can be thrown by performing the armament skill. So you get the Captain America shield if you want it. Everything of a Smithscript is thrown. At least I think every single thing. Okay. We're going to drop down here. That's a ladder. Over here first. This is the drop I'd said we'd do later. Turn down here, and we're going to go up this ladder. Careful of the teardrops. I wonder if they're called like molten tears or something like that. Or molten teardrops. I feel so bad because you could see the golems petting their pet, and yet... I don't know. I just feel bad. But everything's got to die in this game. Oh, that's a bow. Okay. Don't forget the gas stones. They're hard to see, but they're important. Because the next couple of crystal... Oh. Next couple of crystal golems that we have, not crystal golems, furnace golems that we have to kill are going to need those. So we can craft the correct pots. All right, go ahead and pull this lever. This will pull up the cylinder. We can drop here. And the cylinder is literally now just going to seesaw. So one end is going down, the other end is coming up. And we can jump here. Oof! Onto the buckle. And then we ride this thing up. All right, so that's the forge end right there. This is the entrance. All right. So for our troubles here, we're actually going to get a Spirit Ash. So we get Taylew the Golem Smith and an Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell, used to summon the spirit of Taylew the Golem Smith, the spirit of the stalwart stone golem who launches his own fists as projectiles. Taylew was said to be the runt of the litter and the first to stop moving, but it was he who became the guardian deity of smithery. Cool. So that is Taylew's Forge. I feel like that one has to have the most upgrade materials, like, per capita. It just feels so packed. I'm just going to quickly rest at the site of grace to restore my flasks and everything. Because now we have to go get involved in, like, a war. So now we're going to go to the right of the forge. And then there's going to be quite a few Bloodfiends in this area, along with some of Mesmer's soldiers. And there's dogs as well. Okay. Oh, whoa. What? I thought I just killed this guy. I feel like his twin brother must have been inside of him. All right. Stop building. Okay. Get the Sacred Spear. Sanguine Amaryllis. I actually knew a woman named Amaryllis, so that was a lovely name. Alright, Greathammer, the Bloodfiend Hexer, is one of the most significant implements used in their blood rituals. Sacred Spears of Blood are the instruments of communion with an outer god. The Mother of Truth desires a wound. So they are attempting to commune with an outer god. Likely the same outer god that Moog could have served. Alright, so this is the war I was talking about. So there's quite a lot going on here, but we can actually just come into this cave. And then be careful, because I believe... Are there slimes here? No? Could have sworn there were slimes in this cave. And then we get a bunch of sacred bloody flesh. Now, you can get involved if you want. And these enemies do drop some good stuff. And then you can just kind of clean it all up with Rivers of Blood, if you'd like. Okay. Ooh, that was close. Okay. Very cool. So that's the little war they got going on there. The Bloodfiends and the Mesmer soldiers. But don't forget to come over here, because there's a little encampment. Okay, and a chest. We get the Pearl Shield Talisman. Talisman depicting a knight bearing a pearlescent great shield boosts all non-physical damage negation while guarding. The nature and the potential of impurity surpassed the understanding of the knights, and so they were forced to prepare for all threats, known or unknown. I really wish there was like an armor set to like correspond with that talisman, just because I think it would be so cool looking. But unfortunately, there is not. Okay. So, believe it or not, we're actually back at the site of grace. This guy does not realize we were murdering him. Alright, so the site of grace is right over here. There we go. Okay, so we can rest here. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go down to the map still. Now we're going to pass a couple things away along the way on the map still, but I do just kind of want to rush it. There is going to be a couple of stone golems that we will take care of, and then we'll do like a tiny bit of backtracking. So this one's an archer. The one behind it is a melee guy with a big two-handed poleaxe. Be careful. Take care of this guy, but as soon as we approach, the other one's going to wake up, so you got to be quick about this. That should be a death. Yeah, great. Okay. So this guy is going to likely extend. Oh, wow. Nice. Oh, boy. Yep. I thought he was going to stir the soup. Wow, 7,777 damage. Come on, you couldn't just die? Now you're gonna make me chase you? Alright. Very good. Okay. So there's like a fork in the road here. Up here so we can get a good look. This is the fork in the road. We can either go this way, down to this section, or we can go straight ahead. And that's what we're going to do first. Because this area, believe it or not, is not that interesting. So, we have this map still. Now we have the map of Rauh Ruins. And now we have this whole map thing. Okay, so, like I said, we can either go this way or we can go this way. So, the first thing I want to do, let's do this too. So, this mountain is actually part of Rauh Ruins. So, let's go back here, and then you're going to see this. So, we got to find the corresponding rock circle, which should just be up here. Right back here, or I guess you could use Moog or Margit's Shackle. Alright, so there's a couple of things up on this cliff. There is a painting solution, although this is actually a live test because I don't know if you actually need to see the White Castle or whatever it's called. It's not White Castle. I'm an idiot. It's definitely not called the White Castle. I miss New York. It's definitely not called the White Castle. It's called the Sacred Tower. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. So, that's a mausoleum. We'll fight the boss in there in a moment, but the painting solution is actually just over here. But I'm not sure if you need to be able to see the White Castle, or if you could just come over here and get the solution. If you do, then we'll come back later on. I don't know if this is it. I feel like it's a little further down. That could be it, though. I think it is. Yeah, okay. So you have to be able to see this, the tower, which we cannot. Okay, so interesting. Didn't actually know that. So if you come back here later in the game, which we will in this walkthrough, you'll be able to see the Sacred Tower. You will actually be able to see the Sacred Tower, but I guess you need to be able to see the Sacred Tower in order to get the painting solution, which makes a lot of sense, but I didn't actually know that that was a 100% requirement, because I found that painting solution after I actually beat the DLC. Okay, so we have this mausoleum here. This is the northern Nameless Mausoleum, and inside we have another sort of Everjail kind of boss fight. This one really isn't that hard, though. All right, this is Red Bear. So it's not actually a bear, it's just a guy who practices the bear incantations. He's got bear claws, so he can just sort of like do these Wolverine swipes, very similar to Loger, who we killed at the beginning of the walkthrough. He's not really wearing any armor, so he is quite susceptible to bleed, as you could tell there. But he also builds bleed like nobody's business. Ah, I thought we were going to get him. It's okay. Yeah, you can't drink, but I can. So yeah, he's got a bear roar. You do want to be careful with that, but if you get too close while he's roaring, he will roar again, and it will be like a big empowered roar. And that can actually end up dealing quite a lot of damage. Okay, but that's Red Bear. If you're a magic user, just stay away from him, pepper him with spells, but any melee build's going to have a pretty easy time with him. Oh wait, now that the fog's gone, can we actually see this now? We'll read the descriptions on all that in a second, but now I'm curious. It wouldn't make sense for it to just be fog-related. No. Okay. You have to be able to see the White Castle. Okay. Let's check that inventory now. So we got the Red Bear's Claw, Claw of a Great Red Bear wielded without modification by Red Bear, whose name is Lost to Madness. After killing the Great Red Bear in a blood-soaked bout, he became fascinated by the untainted glory of its naked strength. I wish to be a bear, no more, no less. Helm of the Red Bear, whose name is Lost to Madness. The cheek guards are shaped after lion fangs. Perhaps his fascination with the untamed strength of the wild stemmed from his past as a Redmane, follower of Radon. Interesting. Okay. So now that we've done that, we can go back down to Rauh base for the map still. There's the Church of the Crusade. Over here is the ancient ruins of Rauh. That's Bellerot. And then the other part is bathed in shadow. Perfect. All right. So there's the map still. Now let's go into the Templetown Ruins. Templetown Ruins is interesting. There's like a ghost who is saying like he doesn't know how to make it inside, but it's actually not that hard at all. I don't know what this ghost's problem is, but he's got a problem. All right, so there is an opening over here. Just on the side here. And we can go in. Now, make sure you have the beast repellent torch, because there are dogs here that you don't want them to rush you before you've had an opportunity to get your bearings here. All right, and then once you're ready, can begin climbing the Templetown ruins. There's another dog in this corner, which is why the torch is handy, because it allows you to just quickly get the jump on him. Okay. Oh, kill this guy quick. Kill him quick. Kill him quick. Oh, God. All right, we're going to have to come back. God, that's so annoying. These guys are mad annoying. Forgot he was there. All right, we can do the rest of this place, though. It's not a problem. Wow. So when we get to the top, I'm actually going to reload to see if the pot guy comes back. Otherwise, we're going to have to rest and come back. Oh, he does. Wonderful. All right. Rauh, burrow, and a silverhorn tender. So, not really one we had to worry about, but still good to get. The Rauh burrow we're going to find later on, but it's an oval-shaped stone bearing an engraving, material used for crafting. Relic found at the ancient ruins of Rauh. In the center of the stone is a small nest-like hole. Once this is inhabited by a sprite, the stone can be used as a ritual implement. So it's used to craft certain things. We will find a lot more of them in the ancient ruins when we get to them. Okay, another Scadutree fragment. That should be 21. 22. Alright, and then we're going to have one of those horned warriors up here. He's going to come around the corner once we get to the top. There he is. So this one has a great sword. This great sword is pretty nuts. He does have the Champion Gundyr shoulder charge. Pay very close attention to his hands because he has very delayed swings. But he'll go down. And then we have a treasure in here. Two-handed sword talisman. A talisman depicting a warrior two-handing a sword. Enhances attacks with two-handed weapons. The horned warriors were fitting figureheads for the military might of the tower they kept watch over. Their deft attacks slashing through any ally and all foes. So I'm just taking off my jacket here. Okay, so that's the treasure of the Templetown ruins in addition to that Scadutree fragment. That said, however, you want to carefully come down, and then there's actually some treasures like on the outside. So we have this side of Grace here. And just to give you your bearings, the map stele is like right over here. So we sort of started on this side and then came into Templetown ruins. But we're going to head back in this direction now, just to sort of clean up the area of any items. There's a graveyard up here. Get a level 5 grave Glovewort. Oh my god. Jeez. That's that. We can come over to this side now. There's going to be more graveyard over here. Hello. Thank you. Get ourselves a Revered Spirit Ash. Now I have 3 on me. I'm currently level 5, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. That's Revered Spirit Ash 10. 10 of 25, so there's 15 of those left. And then we're basically done with the Templetown ruins. Okay, so we're 45 minutes into this, and we have the other side of Rauh base to do. I'm just going to commit to making this one video. It may be a little long, as I'm sure you'd be able to tell by starting to watch it, because you have the timestamps and I don't. But we're going to come back to this side of Grace over here, and then we're going to go up the river. Now, up the river, there's a lot of enemies, but there is a Red Bear boss fight, like right around here. But more importantly, there is a catacomb here. So we're going to end the walkthrough with a catacomb. It's called the Serpent River Catacomb, or Scorpion River Catacomb, sorry. All right, let's go. Now, there's going to be a lot of Rot Brood enemies here. These guys are not Forager Brood. They are not friendly. Oh my god. Wanted to kill that one quick. Oh my god. Okay. Man, these guys deal so much damage with their strings. Alright, so we're going to come up these ruins here. There's going to be some Gravebirds. Okay. Great. Cool. Gravebird's Blackquill armor. Stone armor with a tinge of green. One of a set of armor pieces cast in the image of the Gravebird. Feathering a cape of black deathbird feathers, it enhances jumping attacks. Gravebirds are ancient golems crafted to guard the spirit graves built where all manners of death ultimately drift. So I believe at this point you should have the full set. You should actually have 2 chess pieces, because I believe there was a chess piece in Graveside Plain. All right, unfortunately, night has fallen here, so it gets really hard to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to come around here, and we are going to carefully sneak up on these guys and just hit them with a river of blood. Okay. And there's another pack going upriver. I'm going to recommend that you kill these ones first. So it may not look it, but you can backstab these guys. Oh my god, the damage. Ah! Oh god. Okay. Oh, wow. The damage output of these things is just absurd. I'm going to ignore that other pack for now. And there's this guy right here. However, poison traps typically mean militia. Alright, but we get a Fire Sprite Stone, Antiquity Scholar's Cookbook 1, and the Rod of Fruit. So to show you on the map, it's this cave right here. Right here. Antiquity Scholar's Cookbook, a record of crafting techniques left by the horn-scent academics who study the ancient ruins of Rauh. Details techniques for working with sprites thought lost to antiquity. Creates a Fire Sprite Stone. Rauh Burrow, inhabited by a fire sprite. So these are the rings. It's this, inhabited by a fire sprite. Uses FP to release a fire sprite that bounces along the ground. The sprite pierces through enemies, dealing fire damage. Of all the sprites, the fire sprites are said to be the most boisterous in nature. So it literally creates a bouncing ball of fire that will deal damage and pierce through armor. You're going to deal with them in the ancient ruins of Rauh. Your enemies are going to use them. Alright, so... I hear, yeah, Crystal Scarab there. Okay. Gives us the Poison Flower blooms twice, which is a martial arts. It's a martial arts Ash of War, so to be used with fist weapons. You can never tell if there's like a bug with the lighting in the DLC or if it's supposed to get that dark sometimes. I really cannot tell. Anyway, there's a horned warrior wandering about here. I just saw him start going downriver. Oh, there he is. So he's got double swords. Oh, God. I overcommitted to that bit. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so you're going to deal with a lot of horned warriors later on in the ancient ruins of Rauh, and it's just interesting to me that they seem to have, like, fallen here. Which I just think is cool. Alright, so we are now entering the Scorpion portion of the Scorpion River. There's a lot of scorpions over here, so just be careful. Yep, here they go. And there is now a flying type of scorpion, just in case you didn't love bugs enough. They fly now. So you got those. I really just wanted to show them to you. We're actually going to head back over here. Into the bear woods. So we've got some rune bears. Can mostly ignore them, though. Shouldn't cause you too much trouble. Okay. Nothing up here. Yeah, the time of day changes are just insane. Yeah, this is the site of grace I was looking for. Okay, so we have a site of grace here at the Scorpion River. Sorry. The Ravine North side of grace. All right, we're going to come through here. And then in these woods is going to be another Great Red Bear boss fight. It's basically the same boss fight, though, so it's nothing really too bad to worry about. So we've got this gigantic pile of excrement here. And you get the horn-strewn excrement. And then there should be a cookbook nearby. It might be another pile of poop. And it actually teaches you how to make things with the poop. Alright, so we're going to approach up here. This is where the boss fight's going to be, so just be on your toes for that boss. Didn't want to do that. Oh boy. Yep, that's all I wanted. Thank you very much. Okay. So unfortunately, our friend the Red Bear is over there. These guys really don't give up that easily. Have they left us alone? They have. Okay. Alright, let's go grab this Larval tier. And I am actually going to use a summon on this just because I don't want to waste much time by dying. Okay. Alright, let's get to work. Of course. Literally the same fight as Shadow Altus of Rauh, the Great Red Bear. Uh-huh. Nice. That's exactly what I needed to have happen. Oh, I thought he was just doing the other one. Oh, that bleed burn is doing real nice. Cool. That's Rugalea, the Great Red Bear. Teak should go away, and then we get our prize, which is the Roar of Rugalea, which says, an incantation of what is jokingly called the Bear Communion channels the power of Rugalea, the Great Red Bear. Transform oneself into a Great Red Bear and emit a mighty roar. Charging increases potency. An incantation that is more akin to the divine invocation of the Horn Scent than it is to Dragon Communion. Only through desperate battle with feral wild can one discover a god unique to oneself. So, that's basically the roar that Red Bear, who we fought in the Mausoleum a little while ago, uses. It's basically the same exact thing. That is the incantation. Okay, now, I am like so sure... Hey, that's another... No, it's the same Larval tier I just got. It's weird that it's still glowing, though. Anyway, I could have sworn that there was a cookbook in here. Could have sworn. It's right here. Greater Potentate's Cookbook. This teaches you how to use hefty fetid pots, which is a pot of shit. Great, so that is right here. Okay, now, this is Scorpion River, so if you'd like, you can kill all those scorpions. However, I don't want to do that. So there are statues of Rosis lining the river mouth, so just grab the treasure, and we're going to ignore these guys. Actually, I do want to read the hint, because I think it's funny. What's wrong, guys? It's already turning daytime. Okay, so this ghost has a really funny hint, and it says, "Stop, avert your gaze from me, I beg, look away." Ah. So, there's something in this catacomb that we can't look at. I guarantee you it's not what you think. This took me by surprise, and I think it's one of the most creative things in the DLC. Okay, welcome to the Scorpion River Catacombs. Sorry. I realized that probably just made a loud noise. Okay, Scorpion River Catacombs are interesting, and that's because they have a bit of a puzzle element to it. The puzzle element is that there are statues that more or less look like imps. However, they are a very special kind of imp, and they are imps that shoot basilisk eyes. The basilisk eyes cause death blight buildup, and you do not want to get killed by death blight, because as soon as the bar fills up, or you don't want to deal with death blight, because as soon as the bar fills up, then you die. So, for this one in particular, the eyes just stay there. However, later on in the dungeon, you will find that they follow you, or they at least move on tracks. So, having preserving boluses ready to go, really important, or is that what they're called? The Deathblight boluses. Rejuvenating boluses. Having these ready to go is very important. The dungeon even gives you 3. Alright, so... Perfect. So what we are going to do is we are going to... Yeah, we're just going to run. So we basically have to run to the other side of this bridge and get out of the gaze of that statue. All right. Great job. So unfortunately, these statues cannot be killed. They are not enemies, they are just statues. And as you progress through the dungeon, you need to be on the lookout for those statues at all times. As well as the imps trying to murder you. Okay. Very good. Moving on. If you rate people's messages kindly, you heal them. So, in case you're ever wondering, like, why does it always say that? That's why. Whoa! Okay, just want to make sure that's where we came from. All right, next room. There's a cannon. Oh, this is not how we want to do this. We're going to come back to this room anyway. All right, ignore this room for now. Come down here, and then we have a big slamming ceiling. So we're going to come over here. And then we are going to drop. However, we need to be very careful. Because there's a lot of basilisks down here. So drop when you're ready. Careful of the Deathblight buildup. Don't stand in it if you can help it. Okay. Level 4 Shadow Realm rune. Okay. All right. I knew that there was more. I knew that it couldn't be so easy. Something else just dropped. Oh, it was the imp dying. Okay, so I said before, skip that room. This is why. So now we can actually get a jump on the cannon. All right, very good. So we're just going to get back into that slamming ceiling room. Bait it out, come back, wait for it to drop, and then go. Yeah, no. Okay, now there's going to be a necro over here. Oh no, it's these 3 guys. Guess when there's a necro though. So what we can do is we can come up here, and then we can start to shoot the guys away carefully. Oh, wow. Okay, that's just going to keep building. Never mind. Sorry, I'm like leading you astray here. If you're lucky... If you're lucky, these guys can get crushed. But... Maybe? Yep, there you go. Alright. Cool. Then we have a Black Knight here. Who we can sneak up on. Just like this player. This is a Twin Blade Black Knight, so... take care of him real quick. Perfect. Then we get Black Knight Captain Hugh. Used to summon the spirit of Hugh, Knight Captain of the Black Knights. The Black Knights were the primary force of Messmer's army. Second to their first Knight commander was Hugh, a man with agile command of both Twin Blade techniques and the powers of the Crucible, and whose spirit in these ashes dwells. Though a champion... Oops, whoa. Though a champion of the Divine Beast Hunt, he followed his father, Andreas, into rebellion against Messmer, and like his father, he too was imprisoned in an underground tomb. Messmer mourned the loss of a brother in arms. So, I've said before that people followed Messmer into war. However, many of them defected. And Andreas and Hugh are two such folks. Alright, before we go up here, let me clear my Death Blight. What we need to do now is we need to cross a bridge. However, you don't want to just run into the next area. Instead, you want to cross it in a very specific way. I'm just waiting for the Death Blight to go down. Because we're basically going to run. However, if you see where my helmet is, there's a candle on a ledge. We need to drop off of that ledge. Okay. Okay, now this brings us behind this. And I'm just going to ride this up really quick. I actually cannot remember if this brings us anywhere. Yes, it does. With the Lion Imp Head. How did he get there? Okay, I don't think I ever did this before. Apologies. Interesting. Never did that one before. Okay, same deal. Gotta be careful with these boluses. I don't have a ton left. Okay. So yeah, even if you attack these things, you can't get rid of them. They are what they are. Okay. Get the Knight's Lightning Spear, which is that incantation that the Death Knight uses. One of the incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult summons a lightning spear while also manifesting ancient dragon crests. On throwing the spear, the crests will launch additional spears, charged to increase the number of crests. An incantation that was taught only to the most accomplished knights, and now a lost art in the lands between. Later on, we're going to get the Death Knight armor, and you will learn that the Death Knights were actually Godwyn's personal guard. So that is why they use only the best of the dragon incantations, or the lightning incantations taught by the dragons. Okay. Cool. And this is why we take this route, because this actually just leads to the other side of the bridge. Wonderful. Going down to the next level. All right, so now the eyes move. So you want to follow them back, but don't get in front of them, because otherwise you'll end up taking a lot of Death Blight. So wait for them to come back over. You can basically stand here if you want. Okay. Hook a hard right, and now you're safe. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen. Well, that didn't help us. Okay. Wonderful. So we got this big guy. Oh, wow. That was a shame. So when he launches a cannonball, that cannonball will then explode a second later, at least behind fragments. Okay. Go to the next level. Watch out for eyes around every corner. So now... Okay, well, I gotta craft more of these before we go much further. Alright, so we're gonna have a Death Knight, or not a Death Knight. This guy's incantations really suck. Basically, the incantations can catch us before, or without him actually seeing us, so it's important that you get out of his line of sight. This way he stops casting it. But you still need to be very careful. This is not an illusion. Oh my god, it is. What the hell was that? What? That has to be a... That's got to be a glitch. What? See, I played this offline. So I didn't play this with any player messages. So I never thought to look there. Oh, God. Wow. That was interesting. Yeah, that has to be like a glitch. Like, that's just got to be missing a texture. Or missing collision. Tried to roll. Okay. Well, this is exciting. Never saw that before. We can get back there really quick, though, because now we're just going to run across the bridge. We're not going to mess with these crushing ceilings or anything. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Always exciting in the world of Souls. That's so rare. That is so rare that something like that happens. That player hint led to my death. Absolutely did. Okay. Well, let's try this all again. Okay. Wow, that was unique. That was a unique death right there, ladies and gents. Okay. Let's do this again. Wow, that is unbelievable. That is just a fully missing floor. Okay. That floor is just completely missing. Got it. Interesting. Oh, come on, dude. How can you possibly be seeing me right now? All right. So I don't believe you can backstab these things. Yeah, it's okay. But killing two before any of the Deathblight goes out is a plus. Okay, great Ghost Glovewort. There should be a ladder somewhere. Yeah, okay. Oh, right. We have to run past the other way. Right. This is mostly a trap with a reward. Okay. Okay. So, these eyes are going above us. So we gotta wait for them to come back. But don't worry, we're going to find out where they're going. So if you look down, you'll see a bridge. You want to plop onto that bridge. And you can backstab this imp. Oh. Trying to figure out why there's so much Fulgur Bloom down in these catacombs. It could be because of the Death Knights. Could be because of those incantations. All right. So you see the eyes going across. Be careful of them. They will come back around. There they go. These are the eyes from way earlier. Ancient Dragon Knights Cookbook number 2. Record of crafting techniques of the Ancient Dragon Knight who followed Godwin's Golden Knights into the Realm of Shadow. Dragon Bolt Grease and Drawstring Dragon Bolt Grease. So now we are near that Death Knight, Jesus, Necromancer. 2 more rejuvenating boluses. I recommend backstabbing these guys just because when they start going... Oh my god. Wow, oh, are you joking me? This dungeon is just not going my way. I'm not even 100% certain if there's something over there. I feel like there is, though. Yeah, it leads to the other side of that eyeball track. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So, not much there. Let this pass, and then we're going to follow these on the way back. But duck into the right here. And we can move to the next section. Almost positive this section is the boss. I think we're done. Yes. Very good. Okay. I don't think the boss is a Death Knight. Let me just look at my guides really quick. Scorpion. It is a Death Knight. It's a pole axe Death Knight. Yes. So, as always, very susceptible to backstabs. You can't make them bleed, though, but still very, very helpful. Still has the Flash Gordon move. Barry Allen. This is the grab. That's a hit. So what's really interesting is that this guy's axe makes some of the same sounds as Godfrey's axe. I find that interesting. Shares a similar set of moves. So again, I'm just fishing for backstabs as always with these guys. See, it's really, really easy. This might be like the most manipulatable boss AI in the entire game. Manipulatable? Is that how you would pronounce that word? Probably gonna grab. Oh, close though. Okay, one more hit and he's dead. Alright, there goes the Death Knight. Alright, for our trouble, we get the Death Knight's Longshaft Axe and the Cerulean Amber Medallion +3. The Erdtree's old sap becomes amber, treasured as the most precious of jewels in the age of Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. These medallions are the largest variety, were conferred to Godwin's inner circle of distinguished golden knights. The Death Knight's Longshaft Axe, a long-hafted golden axe wielded by the Death Knight, bears a representation of a decayed gold ring. Crackles with lightning, the power of the capital's ancient dragon cult. The knight, once the personal guard of Godwin, was also the protector of the Prince of Death's cadaver surrogate, which, of course, is this. Okay, so that is it. And that is it for Rauh base. This wasn't too long, less than an hour and a half. And that's with a couple of deaths. Okay, so back at Rauh base, we have now covered more or less the entirety of Rauh. There is obviously a lot more on this green map here. However, the green section, as well as this bridge, These are the ancient ruins of Rauh, and you cannot get here until you defeat the first boss of Shadow Keep. So, with that said, I say this in pretty much every walkthrough, going near Shadow Keep breaks Miquella's Great Rune. So, what we're going to do next is we are going to do Charo's Hidden Grave next. And the reason for that is because I want to get some stuff there, want to level up. And then after that, we are going to go to Jagged Peak, which is up here. So I want to do everything we can possibly do before entering Shadow Keep and before breaking Miquella's Great Rune. And so these are like the two other areas that we're able to do before that happens. So Charo's Hidden Grave is this red area. Jagged Peak is over here. So basically in the next walkthrough, what we're going to do is we are going to basically warp directly to Dragon's Pit Terminus. We did this, I think, in the second part of the walkthrough, maybe the third. We did Dragon's Pit. It was the third part. We did Dragon's Pit. At the end of Dragon's Pit, there's a door that leads to Dragon's Pit Terminus. There's going to be a boss fight right here. This is the Jagged Peak dragon. It's a typical dragon fight just with lightning incantations mixed in. And then we are going to go south from there to this dragon corpse. And then we're going to explore Charo's Hidden Grave. I think we could probably do it in one. It might need two just because there is a long catacomb there. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if we split it into one or two. But that's basically going to be the next part of the walkthrough. And the part after that, we will do Jagged Peak, which is basically 2 boss fights. Or 3 boss fights, really. There's really not much else there. So, yeah, that's what we'll do. But we want to complete everything that we can before breaking Miquella's Great Rune. And that's really all we have left, is the southern section of the map. Okay, and then after that, we'll move into Shadow Keep and sort of the last third of the game. But there's still quite a lot there. I'd actually say we're probably only halfway through at this point, not even. Because there's still all of this. So maybe we're less than halfway through the DLC, if you can believe it. Okay, but that is going to be it for now. Let's go back to... Actually, let's go to Table of Lost Grace and buy some stuff from the Twin Maiden Husks. We also have a couple of bell bearings to turn in, I believe. Man, this place just feels so old. It's crazy. Okay, can we buy flight pinions? Huh. Interesting. Huh. We can't buy them, huh? Well, that's a bummer. Okay, I was hoping we could buy things to make more fletched arrows. I'll have to look that up. One thing that I did want to check really quick is I want to go back to Renala and see how these teardrops, or larval tears, work. Hmm. Interesting. Larval Tier DLC.
I would birth thee as a sweeting, fair and fine.
Weird. So the DLC larval tiers work the exact same. They just added more. Okay. Sure. Interesting. I figured that they would reset the Scadutree blessing level. All right. Good to know, I guess. All right. Let's go to Dragon's Pit Terminus, and then we'll end it. All right, so that's it for this time. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has continued to be helpful to you. But for now, I'll give a shout out to my channel members. Thank you very much to John Aldridge with 50 months, Silverbullet 13 with 37 months, Daniel Cockerill with 32 months, Brian Brubaker with 27 months, Baghdad Money with 23 months, Greg with 21 months, X Lightning 84 with 16 months, Harv Fontania with 13 months, Jason Naps with 3 months, and Working Class Nerds with 1 month. Thank you so much to my channel members. Okay. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below this video. You can also leave a super thanks by clicking the heart icon below this video. Don't forget to join my community Discord. The link for that is in the description below. As always, I'll be Johnny Cage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.